This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
freekeene.com.
Hi, standing here with Will May of Keene, also known as Skepticos at freekeene.com. He's sort of one of our prominent bloggers at freekeene.com. I've been wanting to debate you for a while because you're sort of a left-leaning libertarian. Is that the best way to put it?
Something like that, or maybe a libertarian-leaning liberal.
Yeah, I think that might be more accurate from reading your work, which is very well written and very interesting. And I try to read quite a bit of it. Of course, I end up disagreeing with you.
It's fine with me.
The main problem I have is that, well, I mean, you tell me, is there anything, you have certain policies that you favor that look to me like they would cost taxpayers some money. So
there are.
Are you willing to use force to collect the money?
I think it's a necessary evil, basically. Or at least it's a very, there are a lot of benefits that come with that. So I think there's a trade-off there, and to a degree I'm willing to trade that off.
Do you have any kind of, have you been giving any thought to ways that taxation could be levied without anyone having to have their home taken, without anyone being thrown in jail?
Yeah, there's some, one thing I've been thinking about a lot is trying to find ways to tax people voluntarily. So something in particular, like we have the cigarette tax right now, and the idea is to keep people from being addicted to cigarettes, right? I was thinking, if it actually works that well, you know, people are intelligent. They might decide on their own that they want to be taxed in order to prevent themselves from getting addicted to cigarettes. So I think we should give them that option, you know, make the tax voluntary. Maybe like when they go to get their driver's license or something, let them have the option to put it on their license that they don't want to be taxed or that they do want to be taxed, and something like that. So I am very interested in looking for those kinds of solutions. I'm just not sure that they can be taken as far as a lot of other people would like to take them.
Right. You had also an interesting viewpoint that I don't hear very often lately, at least not in the liberty community. You don't think we're going to go into a hyperinflationary spiral. Why is that?
Basically, the Fed is printing all sorts of money, but people aren't spending that money. So it doesn't really push up prices. And then eventually people will start spending the money, but once that happens, the Fed has all sorts of ways it can take the money out of the economy. It can sell, it has trillions of dollars worth of assets it can sell, which it trades those for dollars, and it stores the dollars in its bank somewhere. There are other things like it can actually pay banks to store the money, to store their money, which would prevent them from loaning it out, and so basically they're holding the money again and keeping it out of the economy. So a few things like that. And this seems to have worked well in other cases in the past. So,
what would you say, you know, as a liberal-leaning who's leaning libertarian, hanging out with liberty activists all the time? What would you say is the most controversial position that you've been forwarding? What's the one you get the most grief about?
The Keynesianism. I mean,
you're a Keynesian, really? Yeah,
I mean that's the view I've been talking about here.
Well, I mean, just because you think the Fed has a certain power doesn't make you automatically a Keynesian.
Basically, it does. I mean, more or less, yeah. So just the idea that I think, you know, it's good that the Fed is lowering interest rates to try to get people to spend more money. And
wow.
I think it's also good that the government is running a deficit right now. I just think it.
But aren't you committing an act of aggression against my grandkids if I have any?
Yes, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. I mean,
we don't get to consult with them, though.
I know, but I don't like coercing people, but there's a degree. It's a trade-off, you know. I don't hold that. It's not an absolute value. It's the same as, you know, I value human welfare too, but to a degree, I'm willing to trade some of that off for liberty. So it's just there are trade-offs. And
so, despite the fact that you maybe disagree with us on some things, you're still here for the Ron Paul thing. Are you going to support Ron Paul in the general, or? I'm
considering it. I don't like his economic policy, as you may guess, but I'm a big fan of his foreign policy. I like his view on the war on drugs, some other things I like a lot. So it's a hard choice for me.
All right. Well, Will, thanks for being engaged.
Thanks for...
Have fun out there.
This program is brought to you by freekeene.com. Freekeene.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeene.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard.